Welcome to the Wild Wild Wallflower Mandala Crochet Along Part 3. This is the final part of our crochet along where we will make the last 6 rounds, and in the last round we'll actually crochet our mandala onto the hoop. Don't be alarmed if your mandala doesn't really look like much until we get it onto the hoop. It's not going to lay flat, it's not going to look very pretty, but once you get it into the hoop you can see it's going to look great. So don't worry about it until that last round. So for this video you need your yarn, your hook, scissors, and a yarn needle to weave in your ends, and your hoop. We finally get to use the hoop, so grab that and let's get started. Okay, for round 12 I'm using the color Boysenberry. Round 12 is nice and easy. We're just going to put a round of single crochet on our piece, and what we're going to do is start by finding any single crochet made into any picot. So just go ahead and pick one, and we're going to work into the chain 4 space immediately after it. If you're using the same color as round 11, you can just slip stitch into the next chain space and start there, and you'll make a chain 1 to start. So we're going to start with a standing single crochet in the chain space immediately after any single crochet made into a picot. So standing single crochet, and now we're going to make 4 more single crochets in that same chain space. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I want you to skip all the stitches in this round. We're just going to work into the chain spaces. So into the next chain 2 space, make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then in the next chain 2 space, make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then in the next chain 4 space, we're going to make 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so you're kind of getting the pattern already, right? Each chain 4 space gets 5 single crochets, and each chain 2 space gets 3 single crochets. So next chain 4 space, 5 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next chain 2 space, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. Next chain 2 space, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And then another chain 4 space, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's it. You get the pattern. Go ahead and do that all the way around. When you get to the beginning, slip stitch to join, or use an invisible join. I'm not going to show you that again. I think we've done that enough. If you're changing colors, I highly recommend that invisible join. It will make things look really nice. If you're using the same color, just go ahead and slip stitch. Okay, that is round 12. So for round 13, I'm going to use the color Plum when I make my actual mandala, but to demonstrate, just because Plum is so hard to see on camera, it's a little dark, I'm going to use Lavender to demonstrate this round for you. Okay, so for round 13, if you're using the same yarn as you did for round 12, just go ahead and chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch as the join. If you are using new yarn, like I am, what you can do is either mark the stitch where you joined the last round and then just move the marker up each time for the next few rounds, or for the rest of the rounds. Or for this round, we're going to start by working into the single crochet, the very first one made after any single crochet made into a picot. So into that chain space after that single crochet, the first single in that chain 2 space, or in that chain space, will make a standing single crochet. And then we're going to make 3 more single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. So it's a total of 4. And then we're going to make a front post double crochet around this treble right here from round 11. Okay, and now the trick is we're going to make 4 more single crochets, but the trick here is we do not skip any stitches. So the very next single crochet is sort of hidden behind this front post double we just made. So you'll need to find that and single crochet into that one. That's the first one. We're going to do 4 total. 2, 3, and 4. And you'll know you're on track because the 4th single crochet goes into the last single just before the next treble here. And we're going to make another front post double around this next treble. So that's how you can keep track, that know that you didn't miss any stitches. Okay, and now 4 more single crochets. So the next single's not as hidden this time because that front post double is pretty straight. 2, 3, and 4. So here the 4th one goes into the first single that's in this group of 5 made into this chain space. Okay, so those 4 singles, and now another front post double around this treble. And now another 4 singles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn's a little tangled. Okay. And now we're going, so now you know you're on track because that last single crochet goes into the last of the 5 in this group right here, just before the single crochet made into the picot. Now we're going to front post double crochet around that single crochet made into the picot. There we go. Okay, I'm untangled now. Okay, and now 4 more single crochet. So that's our pattern. We'll just do that again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can see those 4. And the last of the 5 single crochets made into this chain space is not worked yet. So then you know you're on track. So now do a front post double crochet around the treble. Okay, find that single crochet and start there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now we're at this middle treble, so front post double crochet. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now another front post double crochet around this treble. And now 1, 2, 3, and 4, and front post double crochet around the single crochet made into the picot. Okay, so that's our pattern. Go ahead and do that all the way around. If you're changing colors, go ahead and fasten off. Again, recommend that invisible join from here on out through the rest of the pattern. If you are not changing colors, just slip stitch to join and hang on for the next round. Thanks. Okay, I want a quick pause right here and talk about sizing. So as you can see, I'm doing this video out of order, and the reason for that is because I want you to be prepared to make a decision about when your mandala is ready to go in the hoop. So here's the thing, if your mandala seems like it's getting too big, you can leave off round 14, 15, and 16. You can leave off as many of those rounds as you need to and jump straight to round 17, okay? So you can leave off 1, 2, or 3 of those rounds and go straight to round 17 and put your mandala in the hoop. That's if it's getting too big. If it feels like it's getting too small, that it's staying too small, it probably isn't. My mandala, this is through round 16, and it is only, at this point, it's only coming in at 9.5 inches across. So I'm counting on this stretching a lot into this 12-inch hoop. So I don't want you to worry. As long as your mandala is close to that measurement, it's ready to go in that hoop. You can make it a little bit bigger than this. I probably wouldn't push it past 10 inches across because I want that stretch to keep my mandala taut when it's in the hoop, so that when I hang it on the wall, it's not sagging and I'm not getting a lot of movement from it, okay? So as long as you're close to 9.5 inches, then you're or a little bit over, you're ready to put your mandala in the hoop, okay? So be aware of that and be ready for that as we go into round 14. All right, for round 14, I am going to use the color Proper Purple, but again, this is a very dark color, so I'm going to demonstrate again with lavender. Okay, so if you are using the same color as the last round, you're set, just chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch as the join again. If you are using a new color like me, hopefully you marked your join stitch so you know exactly where to start. If you didn't, like me, what you can do is just find, again, any one of these round 10 picots and follow it up. There's going to be a line of post stitches that go all the way up. You can just follow that line of post stitches and always use the single crochet immediately after that post stitch, okay? So I'm going to do that by making a standing single crochet right there. Okay, and now make 2 more single crochets. Now we are going to skip the next single crochet and make a front post double crochet around the next front post double crochet. Okay, now also into that double crochet we're going to make a single crochet, but we're going to make it into the top 2 loops. So just sort of bend your front post double crochet down a bit to find the top 2 loops and single crochet into them. Now make 4 more single crochets. And that should bring you to the next front post double crochet. Now front post double crochet around that. And for this one we do not need to work into the top 2 loops. We're just going to work into the next single crochet. We're going to make 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 brings us to the next front post double crochet. And into that, let's make a single crochet and also a front post double crochet. Now skip the next single crochet and work 3 single crochets after that. 1, 2, and 3 should bring us to the next front post double crochet, and we'll make a front post double crochet around it. Okay, so that's our pattern. Let's go through it one more time together. Okay, let's make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Skip the next single crochet and around the next front post double crochet make a front post double crochet. And then bend that down so that you can see the top 2 loops of that front post double that you just worked around, and make a single crochet into that. Now make 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That brings us to the next front post double. Make another front post double around it. We're not going to work into the top 2 loops of that front post double though. Into the next 4 single crochets, make single crochets. Into the next front post double crochet, make a single crochet, and then also make a front post double crochet around the post. Then skip the next single crochet and make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then that brings us to the next front post treble, make a front post double, make a front post double around it. And now you're back to where you started. So go ahead and just repeat that all the way around. And fast enough if you are changing colors. Again, invisible join is recommended, or you can slip stitch to join. For round 15, I am using the color Violet, on my actual mandala, but again, to demonstrate, I'm going to use lavender so that you can see it better. Now round 15 and round 16 are almost identical to round 14. The only real difference is the count of single crochets. So if you made it through round 14, you're golden for the next 2 rounds. Okay, so find your starting stitch. If you're like me and you did not use a stitch marker, or you're changing colors, you know, find that line of post stitches that come straight up from one of these round 10 picots, and go to the single crochet immediately after the post stitch, and into that make a standing single crochet. If you're using the same yarn, you know, go ahead and chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch as your join. Now single crochet in the next stitch, so we're just going to have a total of 2 single crochets right there. Skip the 3rd single crochet, and then around the post of the next front post double crochet, make a front post double crochet. Then bend that down like we did in round 14 and find the top 2 loops of that front post double crochet and make a single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you'll know that you're on track because the very next stitch will be the front post double crochet. Make a front post double crochet around it. We're not working into the top 2 loops of that front post double crochet. Into the next single crochets, we're going to make 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That will bring us to the next front post double crochet, and into that we're going to make a single crochet, and then around it we're going to make a front post double crochet. That's both of those into the front post double. Now skip the very next single crochet, the one that's immediately after the front post double, and make 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and that should bring you to the next front post double crochet, and we'll make a front post double crochet around it. Okay, and nothing into the top 2 loops of that stitch. That is that's one pattern repeat, so let's go ahead and work that together again. So 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, skip the next single crochet, and around the post of the next front post double crochet, make a front post double crochet. Then into that same double crochet, bend the one you made down so that you can see the top 2 loops of that double crochet that you just worked into, and make a single crochet into the top 2 loops of it. Now we're going to make 5 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will bring you to the next front post double, and that gets a front post double made around it, but nothing into the top 2 loops, just that front post double. Now 5 more single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then the next stitch is the next front post double crochet. Make a single crochet into the top 2 loops, and then make a front post double crochet around that front post double crochet. Skip the next single crochet and then make 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and that will take you to the next front post double crochet. That gets a front post double crochet around it, but nothing in the top 2 loops. And that is the end of our stitch pattern. So go ahead and work that all the way around. Again, if you are changing colors and fastening off, either slip stitch to join or do the invisible join. If you are using the same color, just slip stitch to join, and then we will do round 16. Okay, now for round 16, I am actually using the color lavender on my mandala for real this time, not just demonstrating. Okay, so we are again going to pick any of these picots and just follow the line of post stitches up and start on the single crochet right after that. If you're using the same color, again, chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitches join. I am going to make a standing single crochet in the first single crochet after the front post double of this line of front post doubles made into the picot. Okay, so just one single crochet this time. Skip the next single crochet, and around the next front post double crochet, make a front post double crochet, and into the top 2 loops of that double crochet or front post double, make a single crochet. Okay, so that same front post double has a front post double and a single crochet. Now make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then the very next stitch should be the next front post double crochet, which gets a front post double crochet. Nothing into the top 2 loops of that one. Into the next single crochet and the next ones after that, we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now the next stitch should be the next front post double crochet. Into that, make a single crochet, and then around the post, make a front post double crochet. Skip the next single crochet and single crochet in the single crochet after that. And then the next stitch should be the next front post double crochet. Make a front post double crochet around it. Nothing in the top 2 loops. And that's our first pattern repeat. Let's go ahead and do that again together. So in the next single crochet, make a single crochet. Skip the next single crochet, and into the front post treble after that, make a front post treble, not treble, I'm sorry, into the next front post double crochet, make a front post double crochet. And into the top 2 loops of that same front post double crochet, make a single crochet. Then make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Should bring us to the next front post double. Make a front post double around it, but nothing into the top 2 loops. Then 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That should bring you to the next front post double. Into the top 2 loops, make a single crochet, and then around the same front post double, make a front post double. Then skip the next single crochet, and into the single crochet after that, make a single crochet. That should bring you to the next front post double, and around that, make a front post double. And that's it. That's the end of your pattern repeat. Go ahead and do that all the way around. Slip stitch to join. Fasten off if you want to, or use an invisible join if you're changing colors. That looks really nice. And we will get ready to put our mandala on our hoop next.